Imagine the North Atlantic in the dead of winter, around 1000 CE. Ice, wind, and waves that could swallow a man.
Towering waves smash against the sides of a narrow Viking longship, tossing sailors like leaves. Frozen spray coats the deck, turning wood and rope into a slick sheet of ice. Every breath instantly turns to frost. The wind cuts through clothing like blades.
No cabins, no walls, no fire. Just raw exposure to one of the harshest environments on Earth. And yet, these sailors survive for weeks at a time in these frozen waters,
without ever striking a single flame aboard their ships. How did they endure temperatures that would challenge even modern sailors? The answer lies in strategy, ingenuity, and a profound understanding of nature and teamwork.
First, we need to understand why fire was forbidden on Viking ships. At first, it seems obvious. Fire warms and cooks, but aboard a longship, it could be catastrophic.
Viking ships were made of overlapping oak and pine planks sealed with tar, with pitch-soaked ropes.
One careless spark could engulf the entire vessel in minutes.
Archaeology confirms this. Roskilde, Oseberg, and Gokstad ships show no hearths aboard.
Fire wasn't just inconvenient, it was deadly.
Sagas and written records show that food was always prepared ashore, never at sea. Cooking at sea simply wasn't done. Vikings respected the lethal risk. So how did they keep warm in freezing seas without fire? The answer: ingenious clothing, smart sleeping systems, careful planning, and teamwork.
Clothing was their first line of defense. Multiple layers of wool for insulation, moisture control, and wind resistance.
Some sleeves were sewn closed to trap heat. Furs and seal skins blocked icy winds.
These layers created a microclimate, keeping sailors alive in minutes that would freeze others. But clothing alone wasn't enough. Vikings huddled together in communal sleeping systems to conserve warmth.
Two bodies together could generate 15 to 20 degrees more warmth than the surrounding air.
Raced platforms kept them above the wet bilge, and sails could double as tents. Watch rotations ensured someone was always alert, while circulating warmth throughout the crew.
High-calorie provisions could be eaten cold, keeping energy up during relentless cold.
Shore camps provided cooking and resupply before departure.
Every choice was deliberate. Rejecting fire was a life-saving strategy.
Other civilizations like Romans used braziers, but Vikings knew the risk was too high. Instead of fire, Vikings relied on insulation, shared warmth, and support from shore camps.
Modern experiments confirm that these fireless techniques worked astonishingly well. In 2007, the Sea Stallion voyage recreated a winter journey from Roskilde to Dublin.
Crews endured freezing North Atlantic winters by following Viking strategies exactly. Success depended not just on gear, but on teamwork, shared warmth, and psychological resilience. Games, storytelling, and morale boosters kept sailors focused during long, freezing stretches.
Vikings were meticulous planners. Every ship detail, clothing layer, and sleeping arrangement was for survival.
Longships were lightweight, flexible, and able to flex with harsh waves. Rigging held firm in icy conditions, proving the durability of their design. Sails doubled as tents, while the open design minimized fire risk. Navigation was done without modern instruments, using stars, sunstones, and ocean currents. Every journey was carefully calculated, not improvised, ensuring survival in extreme conditions. Clothing innovation was vital. Wool garments from Greenland were thick, breathable, and expertly crafted.
Layers trapped warmth while allowing moisture to escape, keeping sailors dry and alive.
Seal and animal skins blocked icy winds and repelled water.
Even with the best clothing, shared body heat was crucial for survival.
Huddling transformed human warmth into a life-saving technology. Shore logistics, camps, supply points, and winter bases were equally important. These bases allowed Vikings to prepare, repair ships, and feed crews safely before voyages. Cold meals weren't just survival. They were a tactical choice. Avoiding fire reduced accident risk and allowed fleets to move faster and more stealthily. Vikings even embarked on winter voyages when other civilizations sought safety. Clothing, sleeping systems, strategic watches, and high-calorie provisions formed a survival network. Social cohesion was vital. Shared tasks, storytelling, humor, and singing strengthened morale. Psychological resilience became as important as physical warmth.
Without teamwork and structured routines, no clothing or food could keep them alive. Consider a winter voyage from Norway to Greenland, weeks of icy seas and relentless spray.
Yet, they survived. Archaeology shows wool clothing, seal skins, and preserved provisions. This proves a deliberate, fireless maritime culture thriving in extreme conditions. Modern reenactments confirm that these methods allowed survival even in the harshest winters.
Vikings' avoidance of fire at sea was more than practical. It was a cultural adaptation, perfected over generations.
While other civilizations risked onboard fires, Vikings thrived without them. This fireless approach let them conquer the harshest North Atlantic waters. They reached North America centuries before Columbus, connected Greenland to Constantinople, and dominated European maritime routes.
All without ever lighting a flame aboard their ships.
Even the fiercest winter storms couldn't stop them. Their survival systems worked seamlessly.
Clothing, sleeping arrangements, food strategy, teamwork, and careful planning combined into a life-saving network. Every sailor knew their role. Every layer, every huddle, every meal was a step toward survival. By mastering their bodies, social systems, and environment, Vikings turned the impossible into routine. Vikings didn't rely on fire. They relied on strategy, ingenuity, and unity. They mastered insulation, shared warmth, and optimized every aspect of life at sea for survival.
Survival wasn't brute force. It was engineering, planning, and cooperation.
Their methods allowed them to endure where modern sailors might fail.
Fire wasn't the only path to warmth. Next time you shiver in a winter jacket, Think about the Vikings. They rewrite the rules of survival at sea without ever striking a flame.
Clothing, shared warmth, prepared provisions, watch rotations, and social cohesion allowed them to conquer the icy North Atlantic.
Through these systems, they became unstoppable. Vikings didn't just survive, they thrived in a world designed to destroy them. Their ships cut through ice-choked waters. Their crews endured freezing temperatures without fire.
Their culture perfected a system ensuring survival, efficiency, and maritime dominance.
It wasn't magic, luck, or superstition. It was human ingenuity at its finest. They learned to heat themselves and each other without ever needing a flame. That is the secret behind the Vikings' unstoppable power on icy North Atlantic seas. Even the harshest storms couldn't stop them. Their systems worked together flawlessly.
Clothing, sleeping arrangements, food strategy, teamwork, and planning formed a living survival network.
Every sailor knew their role. Every action contributed to survival. By mastering themselves and their environment, Vikings made extreme conditions routine. Human ingenuity replaced fire as the ultimate survival tool. Next time you face cold, remember, Vikings didn't rely on fire. They relied on strategy.
Through planning, shared warmth, and preparation, Vikings thrived where others would fail.
Fire was not needed, and their systems worked in perfect harmony.
Every sailor knew their role. Every task contributed to survival. By mastering themselves and their environment, Vikings turned deadly seas into routine. They proved human ingenuity could replace fire as the ultimate survival tool.
Through clothing, huddling, high-calorie provisions, and structured routines, they dominated the icy North Atlantic.
And in doing so, they became unstoppable. Vikings didn't just survive. They thrived in a world designed to destroy them.
Their ships cut through ice-choked waters. Their crews endured freezing temperatures without fire. Their culture perfected a survival system, balancing efficiency, planning, and teamwork.
It wasn't luck, magic, or superstition. It was human ingenuity at its finest.
They mastered self-warming techniques, heating themselves and each other without fire.
That is the secret behind the Vikings' unstoppable power on the icy seas.
If you're amazed by how Vikings survived without fire, hit subscribe and like this video.